You are listening to The Objective Jerk, and I am said jerk. That was my old intro. Yeah. Anyway, what's up? How you guys doing? Hope everybody's well. Not much. What's happened? It was I recorded yesterday, but I don't know. I just keep seeing these clips of this Democratic politician, and I just was like, what is up with this? And it's crazy. I don't know what to think, really. I mean, well, I do, but so it's just kind of, what's crazy is, we had Fetterman, and he had a stroke, and he couldn't even put a sentence together, and he was voted in by the Democrats, right? But he's turning out to be a based individual, and is probably going to be a Republican, because he just says common sensual things, and they're like, yeah, and the Democrats they're attacking him, and they're gonna want him out of the party. So it is kind of crazy. When you see, I don't know, it's just kind of weird how things change, I guess. But I was, I remember when he won, and I was just like, what the crap what are they doing? Like, it's like you can't even do a sentence together. It's just like another version of Biden, but he has proven himself, so you can't. But, and then you have, like, what's his face? Mondani, right? So Mondani, straight up Muslim, he's going to turn New York into Minneapolis. How Minnesota is just overrun by Somalia refugees or whatever, and just, you know what I mean? It's going to be, New York is going to turn into a Muslim city. And what's crazy is, 20 years ago, that city was attacked by, I don't know, I mean, I guess you could argue Mossad and our government maybe had a hand in it. I don't think they did it, but I think, they knew about it. Just like I'm gonna record a podcast on Pearl Harbor regarding that. Like, they kind of allowed, because people wanted to join World War II, but there was no reason for us to join, so they kind of allowed. But there's, I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but that's not what this is about. But anyway, you could argue 9/11 is the same thing, right? And I think it is. I think it could have been stopped by our government, but they allowed it to happen to, get us involved. And maybe Mossad was part of it, and, whatever, who knows. But it's just 20 years ago, Now, does that mean all Islamic individuals are terrorists and everything? No, and were a lot of Muslims unfairly, judged because of it back then? Yes. But I mean, people learned their lessons and this and that, but still, the thing is, it did happen, and now, and every year it's like, never forget, and now it's like they're going to have a Muslim governor. It's like, what is going on, right? And then on the other side of the liberal retardation, in California, you have this chick, Katie Porter. So I've been seeing all kinds of stuff with her recently. And, it's kind of expected, when there's some sort of political race or whatever, dirt starts coming out on these people to try and affect the race, the outcome, whatever, So, I mean, but sometimes you can tell when things are just, it's all about, no, not position, but it's, you, you know, when things are just taken out of context, you know what I mean? You can tell when, there's some video about something and it's like, oh my gosh, look at this. And you're like, well, that could be a couple different things or whatever. Or maybe, different things can be explained and whatnot. But with this chick, she is just a vile cunt. Like, she is legitimately the definition of a cunt. If you have not seen, you can type in Katie on YouTube and it'll bring up Katie Porter as the first thing. So, everybody's talking about it right now. But there are three videos in particular, maybe four, I guess. But so she's just a crazy liberal nut job to begin with. She's trying to push the minor attracted BS, saying that if you like to have sex with children, that's just your identity and blah blah blah, all this stupid crap that they're trying to push. And that's what they're trying to do. That's what all this crap is, it's all part of it. And that's why people are perpetuating it, because you have so many sick fucks in the government, in Hollywood. Oh, I said the F word. And they would love nothing more than to be able to have sex with minors and not get in trouble for it, or not be blacklisted or shamed or anything like that, And the thing is that this woman's probably gonna win. That's what's like. I hope not, maybe not, but this woman, if you don't know, okay, so she's always pushing the minor attracted thing. She is just like a self-righteous cunt in every video I've seen. She wouldn't answer like questions. They're trying to ask her like, well, how do you, she just, oh, well, I don't need this. I'll do this. And it's like, well, okay, but she's not answering the question. So it's like she's not understanding the question. And the reporter's trying to get her to understand, but she just keeps like, and then she's like, well, I'm not going to do this. We're going to be like 7 follow-ups and then every question, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you're trying to be the governor of one of the largest, or the largest, it may not be the largest state. I guess Alaska. No, Texas, right? Texas is, that's square footage. But California is definitely one of, if not the biggest economical state. You know what I mean? And you can't take follow-up questions, And then so there was the video with that. And then there's a video of her where she's like at home or at her office or something, and she's on the computer and she's doing an interview. And then one of her staff members walks behind her doing something. And she's like, "Get out of my fucking shot." Like, literally, that's what she says. And I'm like, get out of your shot. You're on a webcam in your kitchen. You're not on a film set trying to film something or do whatever. What does it matter if somebody's behind you doing something? You know what I mean? And she just went off like a nutbag, straight up C-U-N-T cunt, right? And then you have to think, if she's like this in front of people, how is she treating people when there's no one around? She has got to be the most unsufferable piece of shit human cunt there is. You know what I mean? Like, she is awful. Awful, awful, awful. And and then there's another clip where Lay's like, well, are we going to have more of these videos? And she won't answer that because she knows that she's a bitch. And then there probably are more videos out there, so she can't say no. Or the fact that she can't control herself, so she's not going to. But for somebody like that to have that kind of attitude makes me think that she knows something that we don't. And then they're going to cheat and that she's going to win regardless. It don't even matter. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of think. But it's just like, like this is just more proof of the liberal mindset. Like a part of me is, I think they think she is like the female or the opposite female version, the Democratic version of Trump, right? Because Trump is very brash, says what he thinks, and he says his quips and his jokes and whatever this and that. I think they think that's what she is, and that her attitude or whatever is gonna be attractive to people like Trump is. But the thing is, that's not even what people like about Trump. You know, Trump, I mean, yeah, he's funny, he says some stuff, but basically he's he's authentic. You know what I mean? Maybe he's brash and he's kind of full of himself and he's got an ego, but at the end of the day though, it does kind of seem like he cares about the country and American citizens for the most part, right? This chick right here though, like, and Trump is still respectful until, you know, he's nice until it's time to not be nice, right? So all these things, and they think this Katie Porter, like, because she's a straight up evil cunt, like, oh, yeah, it's like Trump, so maybe she'll be popular, and then they're thinking that she's going to be president or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's because it's why else? Why have somebody so disgusting like this? And the thing is like, I don't know, like how do they think that there's nothing near like what Trump is? Like, they just don't understand. They don't get it. They don't get why people like Trump. They don't. And the thing is like, they don't try though. You know what I mean? And I think the people that do try lose their TDS, but you just have the individuals who just do not understand why Trump is successful. And so now this woman, if you want to call her that, she looks like she's so nasty. Like, she looks exactly how her person, you know how what was that movie? Can't remember, with Jack Black, and every person he saw, like, he would see what was on the inside is how they looked on the outside, right? Shallow Hal, I think it is. So like, he would see a person who was maybe not attractive, but they had a good heart, so they looked super hot to him. And then nasty looking whatever was actually a really hot girl, but she was just, you know, dead inside. But this chick looks exactly how she is on the inside, you know. She looks like any kind of Disney evil witch step aunt, like, you know, the woman that put Harry Potter under the stairs, you know, or what other, I mean, just, she is the textbook definition of all of that, you know. And this is what's being pushed, who's being pushed to be the governor of California, which would in turn be hopeful for the Democratic presidential nominee, right? Because Gavin is not it. They were hoping Gavin would be it, but he's just such an insufferable idiot. He's the same. They're basically the same thing. Gavin and this chick are the same, but Gavin is able to, you know, put on the mask and have the demeanor and be the used car salesman, you know. This chick is not. She's brash, but they have the same dead inside evilness, don't care. You know what I mean? It's just Newsom is better in public, and this chick is just all around. You know what I mean? But she's probably going to end up winning, I bet. I don't know. I hope not. Not because I think that she could be president, but man, California is so screwed as it is. And I have family that live there, you know, and with this woman being in charge, it would just, there would be no, they just keep going down, you know. And then maybe that would be the final downfall of the Democratic Party. You know, she would get in, and then because California is shit right now, you know. I mean, with, you know, what happened with Maui, which was all planned. You got Hollywood. the train, like the rail system that they made this huge budget and they built just a few hundred feet of it. It's completely a shit show, and it's only going to continue to get worse, especially under this lady. Without a doubt, without a doubt, she is insufferable cuntness to the extreme. Now, maybe, that word is offensive to you, and I apologize, but it fits her. It does. There are just certain people who are cunts. I mean, I don't know, British people, they say it all the time. They say it for all people, though, which is kind of cool. But, I don't know, she is just, man, Katie Porter, she's a horrible, horrible, horrible person. And that's just in front of people. So, what's she like in private? Supposedly, her ex-husband says that, yeah, she's exactly what you would picture. And what kind of guy married that? How could you... Man, I don't know. Like, she just looks like the person... You guys seen Waiting? The movie Waiting? With, there's like a, TGI Fridays, whatever. And it's got a bunch of people in it. I'm blanking his name. The Deadpool guy is in it, and they're all waiters, and and there's a scene where this woman, she wants her food returned because like of really little piddly shit, and they go back and they do a bunch of nasty stuff to her food, and then they give it to her. But that chick right there is exactly who this woman is. So like all the kind of like evil, bitchy, self-centered, backstabbing, two-faced assholes in film are the Democratic Party. They're like liberals, And that's why you don't see that anymore, because liberals are like running and ruining everything. So now, like, all the bad guys are all the rich white people. You know what I mean? You see like the difference and that's why you don't see those kind of people anymore, because that's who liberals are. So they would watch that movie and they'd probably be like, man, that's kind of like my wife right there. What the hell? I don't know. So now everything's kind of changed, but like everything else, everything liberal fails, man. It's crazy. Liberalism, man. Feminism, socialism, all the isms. It's just insane, dude. It's just we need Jesus, man. We need Jesus back in the schools. You don't have to. They don't need to be like, hey, you have to be a Christian or you have to believe, but they need to be like, hey, because Jesus was a real person. You can't deny that. He was all those people were real and all those things happened. So at the very least, they should have that in here. They should have that in schools. And, this is what Christians believe, this, and here's the 10 Commandments and this and that, you know what I mean? But they totally took everything out of the school. And now that's why we are where we are, I mean, there's a lot to it, more than that too, but it's insane. I mean, it wasn't, that stuff wasn't really in schools when I was younger either, to be honest. I don't think. I'm trying to remember. But I know we did the Pledge of Allegiance and various things, and now supposedly they don't even do that anymore. In some states, I'm sure. But yeah, look at these evil, everything that's vile and disgusting and evil is now accepted, and everything that was good and true is now the bad guys, And that's the change is coming, Oops, I'm sorry. Change is coming or it's trying to be, whatever. Because you look at everything. Because if you just sit back and just kind of look at that, look at TV shows, look at film, look at politics, look at education, and look at everything, and just look at how it has changed so drastically and so intent. I don't know. But gosh, people keep messaging me. Okay. Um, that it's all connected though. You know what I mean? They couldn't. This all wouldn't be happening if it was just the education system. I mean, they've been trying to do that for years, or it was Hollywood at a time, and so they slowly been hitting all the little spots, and now it's like right now everything is affected by it. You got entertainment, whether it's film or sports, the education system, politics. It's all like full swing right now. All the plans from Satan, masonry, Masonic or whatever. All the stuff like it's in full bloom because they're really trying to. And then the church too, even with the Catholic Church, look at all the crap going on with the church, all the BS that's being put in there. Because just like America, Hollywood, everything, it's all been infiltrated by evil, And you can't. There's that saying with the pot: you put a frog in hot water, he's going to jump out. But if he's in the water, in cold water, and you slowly turn it up, he dies. Well, that's what's been going on for the last 70 years or whatever, longer really, but is slowly but surely they've been, and I've said this before, I've talked about it, but it's just, I don't know, it's like you just have to kind of just look at everything. I keep telling like people I talk to about that, just like look at the whole picture, just look at everything. And when I see videos or things like this, like with this Katie Porter individual, it's more proof of what I'm talking about. I guess, I don't know, I'm not the most coherent individual, I'm not reading a script, I'm just off the top of my head, but and I'm trying to get away from politics and stuff, but man, this chick is just horrible, but it's a product of what's been going on, and it's all connected, it's all related, it's all an attempt to rid the world of Christianity, I mean, it's happening in Europe, and then plus again, you got like all these certain things trying to say like, oh, black people were Vikings and all this kind of stuff, and like what is going, what? You know what I mean? And it's just, it's it's pretty crazy. The same people that want to have sex with children and let murderers go free and cheer when the opposing an individual on the opposing side is murdered, and they vote Democrat, It's like, I don't know. I think you really need to like look at your party and look at yourself, and I know I can hear it in my head right now. Well, what is that? Yeah. It's like, yes, there's evil everywhere, both sides, all sides. You know what I mean? But when the side that's trying to normalize evil, you're wrong. It's that simple. Anyway, that's all. Look her up, Katie Porter, horrible human cunt. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time. God bless, and bye.